Hey folks, welcome back. This is Lucid, and we're jumping back into our game with Ermor. It's turn 85, and we are deep in our war with Yis. So we've been casting Lichcraft, and we have been casting Wizard Tower, and we have a few battles. So let's watch them. We also did a trade. This was, I think, Fire and Air for Death and Nature with Nabab. So I think those were the trades I made. Here's where we put up Wizard Castle, and it's to go ahead and secure the Fire Prison, which is a really, really good site. You also have 2 Cave Clouds. Fording this gives me a good point to attack this throne from later, so that's pretty good for that reason also. And we also have a very... Oh, wait, no. This is something different. So, yeah, what happened last episode? I think we had the fateful battle of Relay getting burnt to cinders by flames from the sky here. And then, so let's watch the battles we have here with Yes. So here on the throne, we just send a little bit of garbage. And then over here in Nazca, we send a squad. I think this army actually kind of fails. He has people doing Army of Gold and stuff on his. I think my fairy, yeah, she tries to cast Fog Warriors, but it doesn't go off. And it's actually kind of precarious casting Fog Warriors with the fairy with Ring of Returning. Has to do it with the magic scales in the province, and then if she has any encumbrance at all, she'll take HP damage and go back. So I think she had armor on, which made her just like 1 HP over, or 1 fatigue over the threshold for taking damage. So unfortunately now, these guys are all blessed, which is good, but they don't have Fog Warriors on them, which is very bad. So they do make it into the back lines, and they're getting on some of the Kernel Druids, but these guys are pretty beefy. They've got, 28 protection here, so not good. Like, if we just zoom in and look how little damage they take, even on this corner. Holy shit, somebody just cast Earthquake. Yeah, the only silver lining really here, because this is all PD too, so killing it doesn't do anything. The only real silver lining is killing some of these commanders who are not PD. And some of them have routed. If I got Fog Warriors off, which of course I scripted, but it didn't go, we would have won this pretty easily. But we didn't get it off, so we'll watch it again. I'll just show you what happened. This is something, and I think I had, we had this armor on her, which gave her a fair amount of encumbrance. And there, you can see she just disappears. Yoink. Okay, and that's what happened there. So, in summary for that battle, we lost 45 knights, which is not great. That's definitely a bit of a zinger. We killed one of their Kernel Druids, but that's not really great. He probably recruited another one this turn, so he's back up to 3 again. So he can probably still do, Army of Gold and stuff. And then, just an enormous amount of PD. Okay, and then we have a battle in Farah. Just kicking some Orlean garbage off. And we have a battle in Falgoth. This is the other throne, so we're moving a proper army on. And this army, just as kind of context, one of the things that is a really good strategy with pop kill nations, or really nations that are, it's not pop kill, just free spawn. Like, a lot of times, the way many free spawn nations are designed, you're going to have a army number supremacy. Not only will you have more units in your army, but oftentimes you can field more very large armies than your opponent. And what your opponent's incentivized to do is to knock your armies off one at a time with their higher quality army. Like, they're going to have more mage support than me, etc., etc. So a lot of times you don't want to take a straight fight. So what we've been doing is we've been dodging his main army. And we've been trying to clear his PD dumps, which, we've managed to do again here. This is actually a lot of PD. This is I don't know if it's 100, but it's a lot. And we've got a lot of buffs on my troops now. We've got... Well, I don't have wooden warriors, which might not be a bad idea, but I do have fire resistance. We have shock resistance, so it's from ground army. This is from fire fiend. They're already cold resistant. So anyway, they've got good resistances now. And we've got fog warriors on them, so pretty nice. And these troops, the PD do not have magic weapons, so they don't tend to do very well. I also have grip of fatigue play up too. So anyway, you can see we kill 100 PD very, very easily with very, very minimal losses once we get our buffs up. And these did not have Army of Gold on them either, so that's kind of the other thing. And then we get attacked in Jabarina, which is where my army was. My army moved up and away from this, dodging it. And he kind of... I mean, he can guess I'm going to go somewhere, but at any point, like if he doesn't chase my army, I would have just taken his fort. So he can... It's pretty risky if you think about it, being like, I don't think he's going to stop and take this fort. I think he's going to go somewhere else. And right there when you saw those hands pop up, that was him dropping Undead Mastery right here. And I think... Was it you who cast it? No, I think it was this guy. Yeah. Oh, it's kind of cool. It actually shows all the individual penetration rolls. Resisted, failed to resist. Yeah, it's cool. So anyway, he cast it. Now he has the Scepter of Dark Regency, which is a unique item. It's an artifact, and it gives you Death 2, which I actually really could use this. So hopefully at some point I'll kill this guy and take it. Why I could really use it is because otherwise I'm going to have to empower to be able to cast Underdark. So anyway. Yeah, they snipe all this, but we burn a lot of gems. Like if you look at all the stuff they had to cast, and I'm intentionally feeding him an army big enough, you know. I mean, he does... At least with Undead Mastery going off, he's getting some compensation for all his gems. Like, he's stealing a lot of my troops. But, like, look at all the buffs he's had go off. He's got, you know... Well, some of this is from the Bless. Let's find Unblessed troops. He's had Thunderfiend go off. He's had... I don't know if this was Gaia's Blessing or what it was, but anyway, he's done all the resistance buffs. Serpent's Blessing, Will of Fates. It doesn't look like Army of Gold's gone off, but he's also dropped gems on the Ravenous Swarm, and he's also dropped it on Storm, and he's also dropped it on Fog Warriors. So all in all, you know, a lot of gems. You know, or not a lot. Okay, and there goes Acid Rain too. So, you know, probably 15, 16 gems. And for that he gets like 40 undead, which it's not horrible. But meanwhile I killed like a 4,000 investment in PD. And over here we have a battle in a fortress. This is the fortress I didn't think he could get to. And you see there's a very high quality army in terms of quality of chaff, with some garbage inside. I think we know how that goes. And yeah, so for events, we got a Skull Staff, which we always welcome. We got an Amulet of the Giants, which is nice, plus 2,000 gold, which is very nice. And yeah, so... yeah, we're still looking at a world where we've got Gift of Nature's Bounty, yes. But we're killing about all the money he gets from Gift of Nature's Bounty with us raiding one of his PD kind of investments every turn. Or at least that's how I see it. Now, over here, we've got an army which is mainly Cynocephalian warriors and Kernal Druids. So a lot of Kernal Druids, most likely. And these idiots... are probably going to combine with this army and knock me off this throne. From his perspective, I lost a little fight here with some shitty raiders while my main army attacked here. Right? And when I attacked here, he thought I was going to attack here because this would have been kind of the more obvious spot to attack. So it looks like I was dodging his main army. Right? And then when he comes to knock me off this fort, which I one turn popped, I move my army over here. And what it appears like to him, and I think he put a message to this effect in chat, is like I'm going for a throne rush, which I'm not. Not only because these are not enough thrones to throne rush, obviously. I need... There's 6 thrones in one of these columns, and one of these thrones for me is underwater. So I would need to get all the thrones in my column, and then I have to get one in this other column, which I haven't. So anyway, this is basically Sakine's column, and this is basically my column. And yeah. Anyway. So not only am I not throne rushing, but that you can tell he's kind of thinking that, though. Because it looks like I've made a play for his throne. But I'm not. So anyway, very likely he consolidates these armies to kick me off. And we're going to instead come over here and just kill his PD. I'm actively looking to kill his PD and wipe out that 4,000 or 5,000 gold. Meanwhile, we are going to be moving a small squad in behind. And that's just, if he doesn't do a PD dump again, we'll go ahead and put this fort under lockdown. And we're moving in a bigger squad with a bunch of sacreds to come take Nazca now. You can see we've got a lot of mage support. We've got Mass Flight Fog Warriors and Darkness scripted here. These guys are going to get wrecked. This fort's under siege, and we're going to go ahead and try to storm it with actually a rather weak army. But, and this is a big but, my powerful army, which I was thinking about having move on top of this throne, I don't really feel super comfortable with it, with this huge army of militia and probably all sorts of druids and stuff in here. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to reinforce this fort with this big doom stack. And at the same time, we're going to storm with the weak force I have in here. So as long as he doesn't have something super scary inside the fort, there's a decent chance we could take it this turn. And then we'll also have this army, on top of it. And we'll have killed the PD on Nazca. And then at this point, Yis's grip on land is going to be basically stripped from them. So that is the play on this portion of the map. In terms of research, we are plugging away at Alt 9. We're about 4 turns away. So yeah, we're doing that. And I think that's it. Let's go ahead and go to turn 86. Turn 86. We cast Wizard Tower again. I'll show you where we dropped it this time. Here we dropped it on top of this super high value province, which has Iron Mine we don't care about, Enchanted Gate for 1 pearl, this for a fire and a water gem, Hidden Gold Mine, which is most excellent for us, and a convent, which we don't really care about. So anyway, still a really good site. 3 gems and 100 gold, even once we depopulate it. So pretty stoked about that. We'll want to put a temple here, but not right now. I'm not really itching to depopulate this area. Though you can see our dominion is spreading up quite close to Jotunheim. But fortunately for us, there's still a lot of Relayan dominion in these forts, which we're not in a hurry to get rid of. Also, while I'm here, Taxes has finally made his long journey, or her long journey. I forget. It does look like a man, but no, this is a she. And anyway, she is casting Blood Feast. And basically going to go get rid of all these afflictions I have inadvertently given her by not forgetting, because I tried to get rid of Flesh Eater by killing the god, which normally gets rid of the trait, or at least in my test it did. But anyway, it didn't this time. So anyway, I thought it was gone, but it wasn't. Anyway, we'll be getting rid of it, and then I just have to try to keep taxes in populated lands henceforth. We also had a dire portent to go up. So Yis has cast a global enchantment, and that global enchantment was Vengeful Water, which is a motherfucker. Which gives you a chance of being attacked by a water elemental. And the chance is 5% plus Dominion times 2%. So if you're 10 Dominion, then it's going to be 20%. So your chance then would be 25% max. Which, honestly, it felt like more than that before. But this actually kind of makes sense with some testing I had done for another reason about it. So they've also changed this. I think it used to be kind of overpowered. They've nerfed it. So now you get a different size water elemental attacking you based on the scales in the province, and then also where the province is. So if you're inland, like if you're not in a coastal province or near fresh water, the province doesn't have a freshwater tag, which is kind of a weird tag that's hard to see in the game. Anyway, if it doesn't have a freshwater tag, if it's inland and it's in heat, a lot of times the water elemental that attacks you is pretty small, like size 2, which a decent guy will just kill right away. But if you're underwater, or if you're on the coast, or it's not very hot, I think those are the rules. I'm not totally sure. Then you're probably going to get attacked by a freaking monster. So anyway, that is up now, which is a motherfucker. All of our neighbors putting up all these things. We've had Yis, who we fought before, had Wrath of God up, which of course is pretty good against us. Nabah has had Purgatory up when he was planning on attacking us, but then we had a pretty short-lived war, so this has just been more of a deterrent. Which it's pretty good at that. Purgatory is the one that will kill my Chaffwards the fastest. I could still bring Lictors into his land, honestly, but it will murder my Knights and my Chaff. So, anyway, definitely functions as a deterrent, but I'm kind of inclined to have him as an ally anyway. He's been a pretty good ally once we got through our little scuffle. Anyway, but yeah, it's going to be hard to fight Yis now with Vengeful Waters up. And we'll see this turn. The turn you cast it, you also get a bunch of assassination events. So it doesn't even, you don't have to like wait a turn. I get no turns to respond. Immediately I start getting attacked. So let's get into the actual battles. Here we have our battle on top of Jabarina. And this was the light force that was flanking his army, just running in behind. Because we had killed the PD here before, but apparently he remaxed it already. And yeah, he's got just a horrendous amount of PD again. Infinite money. In some ways, it's kind of like fighting the AI. Except the AI is actually smart and scripts things well. Because it's just unlimited resources. He's like, okay, we'll just do a casual, unlimited, PD dump. So anyway, rip these dudes. He had his god here, which we'll go back and take a peek at. But you can see he remaxed PD, which is kind of what I was showing. His god was also here. Let's see what it looks like she was scripted for. So she's got this elixir of life in case she takes a hit. It's not going to like respawn her in her capital. It will just keep her alive here. But she's also holding a global up. And I think she's the caster for Gift of Nature's Bounty. So pretty risky using her out. I don't think I noticed this at the time, but this is going to be relevant later. Hint, hint. And then they've got this Vampire Lord who I think he looks kind of like he's scripted to... I mean, like, he's got the items for doing Undead Mastery with the Eye of the Void. But no blood slaves are way to enter a communion. So, not totally sure there. Looks a little hokey. Coming down here, the Old Coast is one of his thrones. And so he's coming to knock me off of this throne, but I've got an entire army out here, so wrecked. This is one of the soulless, probably non-mages that he had gotten from our previous fight where I bone grinding him to death. And then we have a big battle in Nazca. Nazca, he had done a big PD dump in, and we're coming in with this glorious, glorious, glorious mob. And on his side, he's got his PD. I don't think he even gets all the buffs off. Yeah. And he could have done Army of Gold and Will of Fates and whatever. It was not going to matter here. Would he have killed slightly more things? Probably. But first of all, he couldn't do it with only 2. He would need to do it with, I'm pretty sure he needs 3. So maybe he wasn't able to recruit one previously. It's also possible he's beginning to see the light. And the light is that really the lands of Yis need to be depopulated and repopulated with beautiful, beautiful undead. This is our main army, our army that was near that northern throne, or the throne right beneath the lake. And we expected he was going to come knock us off the throne, and so instead we went for another one of his PD dumps. Now, I do think just doing these PD dumps is the right play. It would be interesting if he could come up with a script that would protect him in the PD dumps. You know, like a critical mass of mages that wouldn't lose much. And with communions, he can do some things reasonably cheaply. Like, he can do Army of Gold, Anti-Magic, Mass Regen, Will of Fates, and then maybe, like, Solar Brilliance. And that's probably the best script I could think of. It's kind of gem expensive, and, you know, if the mages die, it would suck. But... and I don't know if it would win. I don't think it would win. But it would inflict some damage. I don't know. It would be pretty okay. I think it would kill a lot of my chaff and just leave my sacreds, which isn't really a huge concern to me. I don't think Solar Brilliance is going to kill my sacreds, though. So anyway, there's that. We come in and kill his PD. That's in... wait, is this the right place? Yeah, the New Coast. And then over here is where he attacked. This is where my army would have been. And here, because I was already on top of his fort, this is not PD. This is an army. And we've seen this before. This is the army that's chasing me around. And I left some guys here just to gym bait him. I mean, I knew whoever... I was almost positive he would come over here and fight me. He's got Storm going off, so I can't mass flight. I don't think I bait out Undead Mastery this battle. I think... but Wrathful Skies does go out for a hot second. And I think he actually loses a couple guys. Loses a Knight of Yes, some Veti, not much. But Gem Bait's successful. And, you know, when you're fighting somebody that's just happy to throw away 150 guys to Gem Bait you and, you know, kill 11... of your troops, and this, like, they're like, oh, nice, that was a good outcome. I mean, it's not even like, oh, that was okay. I'm like, sweet, this is perfect. Like, that's when you're like, fuck, this is some bullshit. So he's taken back his throne province, which we gave to him, but we've put this fort under siege. Where's Falgoth? Is this Falgoth? Yeah, okay. We watched this battle in Falgoth. And then again, we have a fort. He didn't come and try to knock us off. And so we actually are storming this, and there's almost nothing inside. So these guys charge through, they get in the back, they killed these guys, and that is that. So we have another fort. Now for the Vengeful Waters... we get Mountain Kings assassinated all over the place. Just losing so many of our Mountain Kings. And here we have a battle with the Golem. But Homeboy was ready. Homeboy had a Ring of Returning. Yoink. Kills a priest. Another priest. Dusk Elder does not give that many fucks about water elementals, by the way. Horde of Skeletons. Banefire. Get out of here. Disintegrate. Look at this. Look at that scripting AI. Beautiful. Fairy Queen also gives 0 fucks. Like, I'm a high-end summon. She's got Robe of Invulnerability, Ring of Returning, Rabbit Foot Charm, actually pretty good in this. Swarm. I would have rated the Water Elemental's odds there at 0. Unfortunately, it did gym bait me. This is the Rebirth mod. We get some Death Gems. We get a Mount King. And yeah, that's basically it. So this is an interesting turn. We have popped Nazca, so we're going to storm it. This is going to be mostly uncontested. We're not even going to go through the script. Here, we have popped this fort. And now we have... Okay, here's the complicating factors. We have Vengeful Waters up. This is a very high, like, Dom Strength 8 province, so it's going to be about 20% of my guys get assassinated every turn. Fortunately, mostly actually from just fighting Relay, I was already kind of prepared for the Assassin Battle. Like, you can see we already, and this is just by accident, I don't have a lab here or anything, we've got a lot of water bottles on our important guys. And then other guys like Flame Spirits are super hard to assassinate because they start with Will-O-Wisps on their side. Troll King's actually pretty hard to assassinate too, and he has this item on him, so he's going to have... I don't have to worry about him getting gym baited or anything like that, and he's got just an unlimited number of gems for however many times he gets assassinated. Liches can be assassinated. They're a little fragile. And it depends what they choose to do. If they do Horde of Skeletons, they're going to win almost every assassination. If they do, like, Disintegrate, they may die. But anyway, there's that. And then, yeah, anyway, we're mostly okay to assassins. But our Chaff Commander's not going to do so hot. We could be bitches, right? We could be bitches and we could run. But, guys... the game is too short. We've got to push forward. We're diplomatically in as good of a position as we're ever going to be in this game. We're in a favorable 1v1. We're not going to be deterred by some little inconvenience like Vengeful Waters. So we're going to go ahead and storm the castle here. What we are going to do also, he's running away with some items, but what we're also going to do is we're going to go ahead and lay siege to this fort. We've got Fairy Queen coming underwater doing Fog Warriors, Lich coming underwater doing Rigor Mortis and Vulnerability, and a decent enough goon squad. So we're going on the offense. This again has very high enemy candles, so pretty high chance we get assassinated. Fairy Queen has a Ring of Returning. Lich is going to be pretty okay underwater. Anyway, it's worth it. I want to go ahead and put this under siege and get it, because I think, here's what I'm expecting to have happen. This turn I'm expecting this army to come over here and continue to chase me, as he feels he must. We are going to be set up to deal with Undead Mastery better than before, because I didn't mention it, but we had summoned a Golem, because we got Construction 7. Okay, I say that. Where the hell is my Golem? Do I not have a Golem? I should have a Golem somewhere. 1 second. Just assume a Golem is going to magically pop up here. I can't remember where I put him, but I was pretty sure that I had one. Where are you? Oh, here he is. Okay, yeah. So he's teleporting to the new coast, which is right down here. And he's scripted to do anti-magic turn 1, then power of the spheres, then chill, then do astral healing. And I'll keep my lictors alive. But most important is turn 1 anti-magic. And that means we're not going to lose too much stuff to Undead Mastery, even like a pin-boosted Undead Mastery. We'll lose some, but it'll be hopefully in the realm of acceptable losses. And we'll go ahead and storm the castle. The script we've got, because again, this should be a really big battle, is going to be Mass Flight, then Wailing Winds. And then Quagmire, Rigor Mortis. And then Power of the Sepulchre. This is my Holy 4. And Darkness, Firefiend, Weapons of Sharpness, Summon Earth Power, Army of Gold. Weapons of Sharpness is just good to do turn 1 before my guys take off. So that I can have at least some contingent of the idiots chopping through the Army of Gold guys. And then here we've got Elemental Fortitude, Mass Regen. Elemental Fortitude, again, avoid getting frozen by lictors, and Mass Regen will work on lictors. And then here we've got Fog Warriors and Mist. So a lot of the important buffs going off. And if these guys come and fight us, honestly, this is not that scary of an army. There's not really any Morvarks here. It's kind of chaffy, and we're going to outnumber them like 5 to 1 at least, with probably just as many buffs. We might not have Army of Gold, but we also have Hellblessed Lictors, right? So we're bringing tons of Sacreds. Undead Mastery from the Mound Fiend, of course, is what we're most worried about. What I'm actually most worried about is he brings the Mound Fiend and the Vampire, because I think the Vampire stayed here this turn. And if he has them both set up to Magic Duel with full pin gear, not Magic Duel, Undead Mastery with full pin gear, that I may actually end up losing this. But I think I'll still kill enough of his stuff where it might be fine. So that's happening here. We're sending a raiding force in here, and the connection between these two events is if I kill this army, because he comes over here to try to stop me, then I should be able to take this fort for free. Not for free, but before he can kind of reinforce it. Getting this fort is nice. Not only does it take pressure off this portion of the map, but I can start getting my candles spread over here, because now I'm going to be, while before I didn't really want to, like, build temples and highly populated places, now I actually just want to spread my dominion everywhere. And we are kind of getting to that point in the game anyway. Like at the beginning of the game, you want to prevent your dominion from going places, like to not piss off neighbors, to have income, for all those reasons. We're getting to the point in the game where like I'm big enough that I don't even really care. I just want to depopulate the world now. Yeah. So, and we're getting to the point where I'm about to put Underdark up. So once Underdark comes up, then the population doesn't really matter for me. Like it's not like, oh, I have population, yay. The other thing I can kind of do once Underdark's up is I can take Death, and I can wish for Armageddon. And doing that, I can get rid of like even Sakine's blood economy a little bit. And just like alchemize all my gems into pearls and wish for Armageddon, which, by the way, also comes with some of the worst cancers at Alt 9. This is going to give me Wish, and it's also going to give me Underdark, which are the two most destructive tools for Ermor. Underdark, at least, they could theoretically dispel. Wish, they can't. So in a sense, it would be better for me to just wish for Armageddon many times. The problem is it's going to eliminate a lot of my ghoul hordes, which I'm not very excited about, because I think it kills like 50% of all units. Except it wouldn't kill Sax units, it would kill mine. So I'm not a huge fan of that part, but I don't think I'll do it. I think we'll probably just do Underdark. And then nobody else will be able to replace mages, etc. So anyway, we're saving for that. We're raiding here. We're expecting to have a big battle here. We're storming the fort of Nazca, where I don't think much is going to happen. I think this turn I'm doing... Where's Ermor? Wise Spring Grove? Yeah, we're casting Wizard Tower here. And now, with that, and probably with... I don't think he can contest Nazca. So, with casting Wizard Tower here, this whole area is basically going to be mine. I just have to come and take this fort. But if I win this battle, then I'll be pretty well set up to do that. So with that, let's go ahead and look at turn 87. Turn 87. We probably should spend a little time, too, talking about what's going on in other parts of the world. Because right now it just seems like I'm focusing on me. I sent Yis a message. And this actually is kind of funny. Let me go back and pull it up. I sent Yis a message. Are you serious? Must have been turn 85. I'm gonna need you to kill off some undead. I'm drowning in micro. Literally drowning. Which is the truth, man. These turns take a long time now. And a lot of it... I've stopped grouping my undead anymore. Like, if you look... Okay, that's not true. But, like, a lot more of my armies are like this now. I just dump everything together. Like, okay, no, never mind. Maybe I'm still a little OCD. But over the coming turns, more and more stuff is just going to look like this, where I just am like, pick up everything, drop it in here. There's a lot of stuff to move around every turn. A lot. So anyway, Yis has thoughtfully replied back that he'll help me. We've cast Blood Feast. So taxes. Goodbye all afflictions. Pretty low HP though, because he's in enemy dominion. But that also means there's population here, so. Yeah, we've cast Voice of Apsu, don't find anything, and then on to the battles. There's a battle in New Coast. And this is going to be the coolest fight of the episode. So everybody buckle in. This is his major army, his biggest army, I think. Against just an enormous, ungodly, unfair pile of sacreds that are going to have most buffs in the game on them. Yis still has a bit of a tech advantage, like he should have Army of Gold and stuff, but... So he's got a communion. So he's got let's look what so he's got mass Army of Gold off. He's got Fog Warriors off. He doesn't have Will of Fates off yet. But I've also got Darkness off. And just with Darkness, like, look at these guys' stats. They're garbage. 7, 9. And then my guys are... Like, look at these guys. Such badasses. 17 and 15. Morvarks have Dark Vision, 50. So they're not hit as badly. But, like, these Ichthids... Get out of here. 2, 1. They've got Swamp Penalty too. And then we've also got the Fatigue play going up. I don't know if he has... Yeah, he doesn't have Relief. But he does still have Undead Mastery coming out. So we'll have to see if that makes it off. It's this guy there it went. So he has stolen a fair amount of my guys. And unfortunately, he got one very important guy. And that very important guy is back here. So, those of you who thought we would be taking our air-empowered Itimu and riding to glory together into the Hall of Pantocratorship, Itimu has decided that he's switching sides. he prefers the pretty pink ponies of Yis. And he said he's going to get the fuck out of here. So, yeah. Itimu has switched sides, which also means I think I lose Wailing Winds. I think he's actually going to kill this Archbishop, too. But this Undead Mastery caused actually a fair bit of problems. But, I mean, we were murdering the crap out of his guys. He's got Gifts of Heaven coming down. Back here, though, with Timu kind of fighting, he's going to probably turn around and kill that Archbishop. Banishment coming down. That's the... The Mage Core of Yes drops Gifts of Heaven. Banishment. Cleansing Water coming out here. Occasionally, and I think he's got a shit ton of MR. So, Blood Vengeance not doing a ton. The other thing he doesn't have that he would really benefit from is Mass Regen, which is something I'm sure he could do. There's a number of things, you know, like we could have jumped and killed the commander already, or, you know, who knows. And at this point, a lot of my chaff is gone, and it's just these sacreds left. The chaff is kind of back here. A lot of the chaff was busy fighting itself. Itimu has finally died. He did not end up killing that Archbishop, though I think I lose an Archbishop also. This fight, I don't know where. It could have been it got converted also. I think those were kind of lucky rolls. I mean, I didn't have a ton of mages, and he got a fair number of them. And I did have turn 1 anti-magic. But these things happen. I mean, this is a liability. We're just slowly grinding our way through this. Well, I say slowly. It's only turn 11. But it just feels very painful. And he is able to kill the lictors. You know, every time he Gifts of Heaven, lictors are dying, or Cleansing Water is going to kill him too. But we are slowly, I mean, especially the mages, they don't have any armor. So 20 protection is a lot, but it's not a lot when you're getting hit for 29 damage. And we have magic weapons too, so Fog Warriors doesn't exactly do much. It saves them one hit. Like, if you just look right here, you can see, you know, you got hit for 23 damage. These guys do have luck on them now, so the high damage hits are probably, a lot of them are getting blocked. We're not seeing it. There's 28. So anyway, by the end of this, a lot of my guys are dead. We lost a lot that fight. We lost a lot, but yes, lost everything. And there, at the end, there's just a few Veti left. Yoink, 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 yoink. And yeah, this is the final result. He lost 32 druids. He lost a champion and 2 princesses, and then 2 Morgan sorceresses. So this is a fair amount of cap recruitment. He lost his Mount Fiend, which was what he was using to cast Undead Mastery. He also lost 19 druids, Yisian druids rather than the Kernal druids. So all in all, it's about 55 druids probably, or 55 mages, maybe a bit more, closer to 60. He also lost a fair amount of these Dione seeds, which are pretty good. You can only get them from like a special site. So pretty lucky he found them and then has been able to recruit them, of course. Lost 15 more Varks. And then, yeah, all the rest of this stuff. 50 Knights of Yes. On our side, though, the losses were rather staggering as well. We lost one of our archbishops, which, of course, this represents a permanent destruction of death gems, which I think is the appropriate way to measure losses by Ermor. We lost the Timu, who, of course, is, or Winter, who, of course, is irreplaceable. He's done his job, though. He, through cloud trapezing and casting mass flight on armies, we haven't really used him as a super combatant much because we've been fighting nations with either better thugs or a lot of astral. Basically, everybody has astral. So this is not really the game for using him as a super combatant, unfortunately. So we haven't done it. And I was hoping we could keep him to the end of the game, but he is dead, and not only just another death, he's dead for good. We will not be seeing him again. Unless we wish for him, which we could do. Knights of the Unholy Sepulchre, we lost 44. Lictors, though. Lictors, we lost 200 lictors. That is a lot. And it's a good thing I brought 470. So you can see, even though this wasn't that big of an army, it was a 300 person army, and he killed 200 lictors. I mean, just a tremendous amount of damage. And honestly, I think a lot of those deaths were, okay, the Mound Fiend killed a lot, and the Kurnow Druids who were doing Gifts of Heaven, I think they killed a ton of lictors. So there's not really ways as undead to protect yourself from Gifts of Heaven. The default counter to Gifts of Heaven is Will of Fates, which we can't cast on lictors because they're undead. Even Fog Warriors isn't really going to help with that. So you just have to, you can jump on them with Mass Flight like we did, but really you kind of got to get out your wallet and pay. The other thing I could have done is just had a higher ratio of chaff or something. I mean, I don't know. If the chaff were better mixed in with the lictors, there's a chance, these would have killed fewer. But yeah, I mean, it's expensive. But on the other hand, while Yiss has lost everything, we still have 80 Knights of the Unholy Sepulchre, and we still have 270 lictors, right? And we have most of our important mages, and he lost everything. Importantly, if we look at the loot from this battle, we got a Dusk Dagger, a Shield of Valor, a Winged Helmet. Some of these were from Itimu. Fireplate, Ancient Casket, again from Itimu. Amulet of Anti-Magic. Standard of the Damned. This is from my Archbishop. Dragon Helmet, Armor of Knights, Bottle of Living Water. I think that was also from an Archbishop. Scepter of Dark Regency. This is the item we wanted to get. This is the Death +2 hand weapon. This means we don't have to empower our god to cast Utter Dark. So that's actually huge. And I have gone ahead and put it here in our inventory. So here it is, Scepter of Dark Regency, +2 magic, death magic. Very, very, very good for us. And to go over the math again that we're going to need to cast Utter Dark, it is death 9. So what we'll probably do, they can target my god with Wish Kill. So I'm probably just going to get a random Lich somewhere, like one of these guys who's death 4. With the Skull Staff, we'll replace it with this. That gets him up to death 6. With this, it gets him up to death 7. Then I can do a Ring of Wizardry, which will get him up to death 8. And then I need a Ring of Sorcery, which I don't have. But that will get me up to death 9. And then we can cast Utter Dark. And we'll see. I mean, on one hand, I could take these death gems and turn into power. I already have so many death gems manifested on the board. I don't think 800 more is going to make the world of difference. That'll probably be like 20% more death gems manifest. And that's going to do a lot less than Underdark. Like, my Lictor engine is already running. That's what I'm trying to say. I've already got enough liches to do all the death casting I probably need to do. And then, of course, after the battle, we storm the fort. And there's nothing inside the fort, because he was all in on the defense. But you can see it's a pretty beleaguered crew that ends up treading through the gates. Because all the masters who died, etc., you know, if I lost one of the units leading, then they didn't have any of their troops coming through. And then we got Assassination Battles on top of that. We lost a Censor, and here you can see our Flame Spirit wrecks this water elemental. They actually really... These guys are really good against water elementals. Because it takes them forever to kill these will-o-wisps. Because they're ethereal and they have 20 defense. And this guy only has 14 attack. Anyway. That's basically how that goes. Yeah, we've claimed this fort now. Which gives us +2 earth income, which we can definitely use, and +1 water. We also had a battle in the fort of Nazca, which there's basically nothing inside. Just a little bit of garbage. We lost 1 unit, so we won't watch that. And now we have basically successfully taken all of Nazca from Yes, or almost all of Nazca. We've got a couple forts left. I don't think he can possibly defend this now. We're going to go ahead and move over here and take this. Go ahead and take this throne. There's a Madrid here, or a Marid from Ubar, or Nabah, excuse me. That potentially could come fuck with me. We will wreck his shit. So we are in a normally when you have Vengeful Waters up, you tend to kind of like bitch out and go hide in your own dominion. We're not doing that, guys. It's Dominion 7, and we're probably marching into like Dominion Strength 10. We're just going for it. We're going. We're going to take this. We're going to kick these ponies back in the ocean. And then we may or may not kill them in the ocean. So we're going and attacking here on top of the throne. We should one turn pop it. We've got a lot of guys. The nice thing about... I probably should have a lot of these sensors go back. I'm probably moving too many. The nice thing, though, about Vengeful Waters is it happens at the end of the turn. Mostly at the end of the turn. So it doesn't interrupt movement, and it doesn't interrupt, like, battles. But once all that's done, then you're going to, lose a lot of your chaffy commanders. So anyway, we're attacking here. I'm expecting basically no resistance, maybe some PD. I've refreshed on gyms because there's a lab here, and we're going to be moving out. We're also going to be going on the offensive down here. And we've got everybody from Nazca can basically make it over here. So we're going to be sending this Nazca stack up this way. I've also got... Well, the Nazca actually had 2... Okay, so last turn I had, if you recall, we took this fort. This was the turn that Vengeful Waters went up. And I had moved in to protect the army storming. I had moved in a proper army with mage support and all that. The army that stormed this fort the previous turn was garbage. But then I had a bunch of my nice guys stuck in enemy dominion. And I didn't feel like going on the offense over here again. So anyway, we just pulled them into Nazca, which was basically neutral dominion. And now we've got... that army, which was here and had moved to Nazca, a large portion of that's going to come back down this way. Right, so they're going to head to Wise Spring Grove and set up to go on the Old Coast. And then we have another army which is coming over here to knock this fort down. And this is going to be a proper army with mage support and all that. Fog Warriors, etc., etc. So that is the plan. I think... Oh, I don't know why. Oh, yeah, we've got a fairy coming back in here, too. I've changed her gear where I think she can do Fog Warriors. I can't remember. Anyway, she's coming next turn. We should be able to pop this. I've put most of the dudes on the Lich, who is pretty likely to survive an assassination attempt. And yeah, there's nobody really to come knock him off, so I think we're cool. And the other nice thing about getting these forts is it's really going to help me push my Dominion in here. The other thing that's kind of annoying is I've been trying to build temples. This guy should be able to because he's got a bottle of water. But I think I tried to build a temple here last turn, and I think it took my money, but it didn't build it because he got assassinated. I'm almost positive he was building a temple. I don't think it gave me my money back. I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely didn't give me a temple. So anyway, that's annoying. And we need to get a temple up here. We're building one. If you look at our temple count, we're at 53. And we're just going to be filling up all these forts with temples. We're building one in Nazca, most likely. Yeah, temple coming up here. I don't give a shit. I don't care that it has this. I might put, whatchamacallit, stone idols in Nazca to kind of keep the Dominion lower down. But we need to get this toxic Vengeful Waters Dominion out of here. I don't care if we kill everybody. In the game, of course. Anyway, that's basically the play. It's kind of weird. You play Ermor and you end up talking like a supervillain. I don't care if we kill everybody. We've got another goon squad going back on top of the old coast. Important. Yisk came and knocked us off here. Or no, we went inside the fort. This is the army he's got sitting inside. It's basically a bunch of swans with a few of these idiots up at the front. These are his druids that got bone grinded down. You can see they're all limped to hell. Some of them are going to be crippled too. Yeah, anyway. This is just what was left of the bone grinding force. So we honestly would probably wreck this. And we kill a lot of the swans, which we'll just watch it real quick. I can't really remember. I think the swans land, we kill them. Then a few of our guys march through, but the banishment, yeah. It's a pretty weak stack. But he knew I didn't have anything threatening on top. That's kind of why I think there's not much of a defense here. And if I do put a credible threat on, then he's got to decide. Do I take this huge stack with all the mages here, and do I roll out to knock them off? Where he's worried if he does, I'm going to hit him with bone grinding. Or I do the switcheroo, as I have done before. But if he doesn't, then I take his throne from him. It's like, what do you do? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and put it under check. We're moving an army to get on top of this potentially next turn. And yeah, that's basically that. So I think we're going to call it there for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.